Hey there, how are you doing? Happy New Year. Not been on my channel a lot, I know, because 2022 was just a big year of up leveling for me and just a huge year of growth and doing everything that I knew I needed to do to be able to move on and move forward. And I can honestly say I have now. I'm in the transformation stage, I would say. I am becoming who I should have been all along, who I was underneath, who was hidden and lost under all the years of life that just gets in the way. And I'm just letting her through now. There's no reason not to. I did the certification and all the life coaching, which I loved, really, really brilliant. But all the time I was just like, oh, it's just not quite what gave me the transformation I knew I had. And coaching people that way is fantastic and useful and will never be out of need. But it was a hypnosis that I did that made all the difference for me. I went into the hypnosis, it was a regression, and I went in not expecting very much. I went into it scared, anxious. I was a very anxious person, worried that the cancer would come back all the time, like all the time. I thought every lump and bump, I was like, oh, that's a lump. Oh no, it's my collarbone. There's one there. And headache, oh, obviously a brain tumour, or a slight backache, which obviously it's gone to my bones, obviously. There was no in between. There was no like, oh, a little bit of an ache. No, yeah, I went straight to cancer. It was, my brain was just like, it's called hypervigilance. I know this now. It's a symptom of PTSD. It's when your body's like scanning the horizon, your brain's scanning the horizon for any dangers at all to protect you from everything that went on, and it doesn't stop. And I went into the hypnosis to sort of to just move forward, move on. I was so sick of feeling that way, so sick of it. I like worried hourly. I was in tears. I couldn't think. I couldn't plan ahead because what's the point? And I just couldn't function anymore, really. And after the hypnosis, I felt lighter, I felt better. But it was a few weeks down the line when I suddenly realised that I hadn't thought about it for weeks. I hadn't been that anxious person anymore. And I hadn't even realised that it had just stopped. I was just living my life again, and I was getting out there again, and it was all going back to normal. And I was like, well, that's the thing I need to be doing. So I need to get into hypnotherapy. So I did loads of certificates in and training in hypnotherapy. And all of that time I was like, this isn't the same as the one I did. Why isn't it the same as the one I did? So I would then, all the time, the woman I did the hypnosis with, I was like, can you teach me what you did? Because it's not the same as what I'm learning over here. Even though she said to go there to learn that stuff. And she was like, no, I don't do that. I don't teach other people it. No. And then eventually I think I wore her down a bit. And obviously she'd shifted herself. And she said, that's it, I'm going to start teaching it. So I was like, okay, I'm in, completely in. Everything, all of it. I need to know, because I know what a difference it made to me. So I'm learning it. So the past year, I've been learning all of it, and it's absolutely fascinating. And to be able to see the shifts in people as quickly as it happens is just gorgeous. It's so lovely. And there's no weight on me to be coaching people through it all and finding all the answers, which a good coach shouldn't do. But I just felt coaching is too heavy for me. I can't coach on a heavy level like that. It's just too much, and it brings me back to it all and things, whereas hypnosis is a different ball game. I can do that really, really well, and I can hold that space. It's such a safe, confidential space for whatever that comes out, and people never go back to where they thought they were going to go. It's always a bit deeper than they realised. So they offer even myself, I didn't even think. I did another regression very recently, and I didn't think I'd go back to those places. I did a money block release, which is fun. I like money block releases. And all of my blocks weren't about money. They were all about shame and how that was stopping me moving forward and doing what I want, because there was right back to when I was about 5. And it was just a misunderstanding. Well, actually, I swore at school when I was 5. I just thought it was normal. I heard it at home all the time, and I just swore. And then, oh my gosh, I got in so much trouble, and I didn't think I'd done anything wrong, and I was made to feel so awful. And then being able to go back and look at that with adult eyes, and you go, oh, it was nothing. You didn't do anything. And you can just drop it like that. Because reality is nothing more than what we believe. The stories we create around something, and then believing that, and it just gets bigger and it turns into something. And that's why our reality can change so quickly, is because if you can change the story, you can change the meaning, and you can change the emotional charge to it, and you can just drop it. And seeing it for what it actually was, you can just release that and you can walk away from it. And the shifts I have had recently from my recent hypnosis with a friend of mine, it's just amazing what's been coming out. And you can then see that thread weaving through your whole life. You say, oh, I didn't do that because it's shame. Oh, I accepted that because if I didn't, I'd feel embarrassed. I do this to stop that happening, and it protects me from doing that. And it's just amazing. And it's these emotional sort of wounds, or emotional sort of trapped emotions that plant that root when you're younger, that then travel through your life and then pop up in a strange, completely different time. And you've forgotten that's happened, but it's popping out here. So all your attention is on this symptom, when actually the root cause was way back there. And some of them are just misunderstandings or throwaway comments that just get lodged in the wrong way. Or big things can happen that need releasing, and they do need releasing. You can't just cover it over with dirt and rugs and everything. It's still there. They need releasing, and it's not always soft and cuddly and rainbows and unicorns. It can be pretty difficult sometimes, but once it's gone, the shifts that can happen quickly in all areas of your life are amazing. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm doing 2 different types. I've got the future self, which is Hypno-Healing, which shifts you forward, which is great for us cancer survivors, because it takes you forward into your future self, and the most gorgeous things come out. And it looks at who you are without this anxiety, without all these worries. Who are you without this cancer identity? Because the trouble with us cancer types, is that we're bumbling along in life, thinking we know who we are, doing what we were doing. I had an aircraft sales company. Don't know if I've even said that on here. I used to sell light aircraft, and had my own company with my husband selling those. And so I was doing that, and then I had my daughter, so I was a mother. And then all of a sudden, so you've got your identity all together, so you think, that's been constructed over all these years of everybody's perceptions of you, everybody's expectations that have been put on you, our cultural beliefs, religions, the icons in the celebrity world that we follow, who we want to be like. Everything like that all just folds up into this identity that we think we know who we are. And then along comes cancer and shatters it. We lose our hair, we lose everything. We're no longer in our work, we don't have that career. We're seen as the cancer patient. Oh, Louisa with cancer. Oh, you know that girl with cancer. And you get this whole new identity of this person with cancer, this sort of victim of, oh, you poor thing, are you okay, how are you, and all of that gets like pushed on you, and you're just like, oh yeah, I do feel bad for myself, and then I just had to fight that so hard, because it wasn't me. I never wanted to be a victim. I never wanted to be that person that was felt sorry for, but everybody feels a bit sorry, and that's lovely that they do, obviously, but it's this identity, new identity, that gets pushed on you. You've got no hair, you don't even recognize yourself. I used to make myself jump when I looked in the mirror. I was like, who's this person in the bathroom with me? Who's obviously not me. And that gets all pushed on you. And then so you assume that identity, and then you survive, and then you don't look like that person anymore, and you're thrown out the other side of treatment, and you don't fit the cancer patient identity anymore. You can't really go back to the cancer support groups, which, by the way, hold you in that identity. Hi, I'm Louisa, and I had breast cancer and HER2 positive, and all of that. Hold you in that identity. So when you survive, you can't go back to that either. But you can't go back to the aircraft salesperson and the mother of who you were with all the hair and everyone before that, because you're still seen as being different. So you've grown this whole post-traumatic growth that comes along as well, or you're completely broken by it all. Either way, you're not who you were before, and you're not who you are just now, because you're not a cancer patient. So who the crap are you now is the question. So you've lost multiple personalities by now, and you're sort of left reeling with, what now is the overarching question I hear again and again. What now? What now? And you don't want to focus on that. You want to focus on your new life. And what does that even look like? Who am I now? What do I want to do? Like me, I've completely changed direction. Going into hypnotherapy and hypnosis after selling aircraft, it's a bit different. And some people are like, you're not going to go back to selling planes? I'm like, no, I like horses and always have, actually. And I go back to my Instagram feed and it's all horses and there's not a single plane on it. This should have told me years ago that I was not being who I wanted to be. So the future self, the hypno-healing that I do, is fabulous because it shifts you forward in your timeline and the most beautiful things come out every time. It's gorgeous. It's so lovely. And when I did mine, it was just beautiful. I was so proud of myself for having achieved what I wanted to achieve, and those feelings that came through, and I could clearly see where I actually wanted to be. It was a bit of a shock, to be honest. I was in a penthouse in town, and I always think I want a country estate with peacocks and horses, and it was quite different. But actually I grew up in penthouses in Spain, and it was going back to my roots in a way. But I could clearly see what I wanted to be doing, and I could clearly see where I needed to be going. And it's like when you hear a song wrong. There is a comedian in England called Peter Kay. He's fabulous. He's so funny. And he played songs, but he'd tell you what he heard, like hot dog in a song, and then you can't unhear it ever again. That song has always got hot dog in it now, from now forever. And it's the same thing that happens with your future self. Once you've seen her and who she is and how beautiful that future is, you can't unsee it. You can't take that back. And you can also see that the only difference between her and you now is you. And all you need to do is shift yourself. And then with that one, what I do is then I personally record you a bespoke activation which codes in those beliefs. Anything that you want to shift, I put suggestions in, hypnotic suggestions to shift the things you want to shift, and I bring her and I code her, the future self, in to that hypnosis, and then you listen to it. It's like going to sleep. Put me in your ears and go to sleep. Couldn't be easier. You listen to it for 30 days and it actually rewires your beliefs and your programs. It reprograms your subconscious, which is flipping brilliant. It's so cool. So if you want to join me on one of those, click the link below and let's just have a quick chat. But yeah, click the link below, just book a quick coffee chat really, have a chat about it and see if it's something you'd like to do. But otherwise, I will see you in the next one where I will be talking the regression in the next one, and that's fabulous. And I'll see you in the next one. Happy New Year. Oh, by the way, I am officially 5 years out of treatment now. The 31st of December was my last radiotherapy back in 2017. So this new year marks 5 years out of treatment. And now, going that one step further, I am off all cancer medications. Everything. I had a scan last year, late year, and it was completely clear. And now all I'm having is blood tests to monitor stuff, and I'm off everything. So I'm feeling myself again. It's quite nice to be back, to be honest. And I've got such confidence in my own healing and my reprogramming that I know that I'm fine. And it's all the anxiety is gone. Once upon a time, if I'd been taken off all the medications, I would have been terrified, absolutely terrified. But now I know that I've cleared a lot of trapped emotions, bad patterns and all of that. And I've shifted such a lot in myself that I am rock solid in my confidence that I am fine to be off medicines. I'm going to go for checks if I feel I need it, but I'm balanced. I don't have that eternal worry anymore, and that is so cool. But anyway, my tummy is rumbling, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.